Я постригся, мне не очень нравится. Слишком коротко. Что делать? I got my haircut and I don't really like it. It's too short, but what can you do? Hey everybody, today we're talking about second conjugation Russian verbs. Давайте начнем. Всем привет, меня зовут Jared, я делаю русский язык легким. Hey everybody, my name's Jared and I make the Russian language easy. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to two of my followers. The first is Zalkifi Jamil, and the other is a YouTube channel known by the acronym DV. You guys have commented on several of my videos and thanked me several times for making these videos, so I really appreciate that. I just wanted to say thanks back to you guys. Okay, let's get started with second conjugation verbs. Now, second conjugation verbs are a little bit more complicated than first conjugation verbs, and I'm making two assumptions. The first is that you know what conjugating verbs means. If you don't, go watch this video right here. And the second assumption is that you're fairly comfortable with first conjugation verbs. Second conjugation verbs are considered a little harder, although not significantly so, for a few different reasons. One, you identify them slightly differently than you do first conjugations. I should say not differently, but there's some more exceptions than there are to first conjugation. They have shifting stress, they have mutating consonants, and then every now and then you have to add this crazy L. So it's kind of weird there, but I'm going to explain all of that to you and make it easy for you. But because there are so many irregularities, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to identify and conjugate a second verb just under normal standard circumstances. And then I'm going to give you the first irregularity. The other three are going to come in part 2 or in next Wednesday's video. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that now so that you get notified when that video comes out. If you're watching this at some time in the future, I'll link to that video right up here. All right, that was a long intro. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is identify second conjugation verbs. You'll remember first conjugation started in ate miyaki znak. Well, these end in ite miyaki znak. Let me give you an example here. Говорить, which means to speak. It ends in the ite miyaki znak. Звонить, here's another one, ends in the ite miyaki znak. Not a hard concept to understand. I think you get it. Now again, not all second conjugation verbs end in this. We're going to address those in the future, but the vast majority of second conjugation verbs do end in the ite miyaki znak. Let's learn the endings now. For ya, it's or you, generally you, ты, ish, он, она, оно, it, мы, им, вы, итя, они, at, or yat. Now, this may look like a whole new set of endings that you've got to memorize, but let me point something out here to you that I think will make it a little bit easier for you. If we overlay first conjugation verbs right on top of these, you'll see that they're very similar. And give me a little bit of leeway here. I'm going to use hard and soft vowels, although I know that's not grammatically correct in Russian, but just follow me here. It'll help you learn it. You'll see in the first conjugation, it's the soft E, and in the second conjugation, it's the hard E. If you think about it that way, you've already got the endings memorized. Pretty easy, huh? Hey, you guys, if you're liking this video, smash that like button down below. I really appreciate it. Spasiba. Let's do a few just to get you familiar with it. Let's take the verb говорить, which is to speak. We know it's second conjugation because of the ite miyaki znak. Here it is in the infinitive form. That means no changes. And let's conjugate it. We drop the ite miyaki znak, and we add on the appropriate ending based on the personal pronoun or the object that the verb is referring to. So let's say, I am speaking. Я говорю. We move on to you. It's ты говоришь. Он говорит. I'm not going to do them all because I think if you understand first conjugation, you understand where I'm going this with second conjugation. Here's one for you to try out. Звонить, the verb to call or to ring, depending on where you live in the world. So I'm going to call you on the phone or I'm going to ring you on the phone. Let's see if you can conjugate this one. Я, remember, drop the ite miyaki znak, add the appropriate ending. Я звоню. Ты звонишь. Он звонит. And then let's jump to они звонят. Not hard, pretty easy, right? You're already 3/4 of the way there to mastering second conjugation verbs in Russian. Now we need to start talking about the irregularities. Here's the first irregularity. If the verb, after dropping the i temjaki znak, ends in one of these four consonants, be, ve, em, or pe, you need to be conscious of two things. The first is in the ya form, we're going to add the letter L and then conjugate it according to normal second conjugation rules. And in the ya form, the accent will be on the end, will be on the U. In all the other cases, te, on, muy, vui, ani, it conjugates according to just standard conjugation rules, and the stress or the accent will be at the beginning of the word. An easier way to think about it is after you drop the i temjaki znak, if the verb now ends in one of these four consonants, be, ve, em, or pe, the ya form gets the L with the accent at the end. All the other forms conjugate according to second conjugation rules, and the accent is at the beginning. Not a super hard concept to grasp, but it's something that you need to be aware of. If you're just starting to learn Russian, you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. I have to conjugate all these verbs and put all these different endings on it. And now I got to know about these four consonants and adding L's and shifting accents. Yes, you do have to know that. But if you will go through, conjugate these verbs, and as you do it, say it out loud, when you need the verbs in conversation, they're just going to come. It's hard at first and becomes natural with time and practice. I promise you. All right, if all of this is overwhelming to you and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Jared, let me give you an example here and it's going to get a lot easier. Let's use the verb lubit, to love. And if associations help you memorize words, they help me. This is how I memorized it. I love Anna, but Lou beat me to asking her out. In other words, Lou got to her first and I missed out. Lou beat. So let's conjugate this one. Lou beat. Here's the infinitive form, or the form without any changes. We drop the i temjaki znak and our alarm bells go off because it's one of our four consonants, be. So in the ya form, we add the L and then conjugate it according to standard first conjugation rules. We just add the U. And the accent comes at the end. Ya lubiu. In the t form, we don't have to worry about the L, and we just know that the accent comes at the beginning. So it's ty lubisz, on lubit. And then I won't go on and do the others because I think you get that. Here's a common verb that you're going to use all the time, and I'm going to let you practice on it. Kupit, which means to buy, as in I'm buying a purse, I'm buying a camera, something like that. Kupit. The first thing that we do is what? Correct. We drop the i temjaki znak, and then what do we notice? Correct, that it ends in pe, so that we know that we're going to have to use this first irregularity conjugation. So the ya form would be what? That's correct. Ya kupiu. We add the L accent on the end. Let's jump ahead to the muy form. We, how would that one be? Kupim. Correct. It's just standard conjugation, no L, and the accent is at the beginning. Vui kupim. Let's do one more. How about vui? What would it be if you wanted to say you were buying? Vui kupicie. Okay, in my opinion, it's not one that's hard to understand. It's just one that you need to be cognizant of. And again, if you say them a billion different times there, then it's going to get a lot easier for you when you need them in conversation. If you guys aren't getting any of this or you have questions about it, feel free to leave those questions in the comments below and I will answer them for you. There's 3 more irregularities that we need to learn about in second conjugation, but again, we're going to do that in the next video. So really, that's all that you need to do for today. All the words which I gave you today, plus a few extras for you to practice on, are going to be included in the show notes below. So you can copy and paste those into your study aids or go grab a few of those verbs that I didn't give you the answers to and see if you can figure those out. Ну хорошо, тогда это все. Спасибо и увидимся.